first time, hit thumbs up, hit subscribe. Please stay, watch as much free content as you can handle. All I want to do is teach you how to make money without having to have your job, right? Or rely on a paycheck. How many know that living a life where you have to have a paycheck, right? Because so many people go through it where you like, I have to have a paycheck. It's the only way I know how to make money. And I'm not mad at you for doing it because I do understand that you got to pay your bills. You got to make a living. You got to take care of your family. I do understand that. But my thing is, all I'm doing is saying, hey, that's fine. Keep your job, make money. I have no problems with that. But just don't be in a position where that's your only source of income, right? So what I do, because people ask, hey, what do you do? Because they see me out and about. I might be shopping in the mall in the middle of the day. I might be in Victoria's Secret getting something sexy and hot for my wife. I might be out in a toy store getting kids' toys, having lunch at a place that I want to eat at. Or I'm hitting the gym, playing basketball, shooting some hoop, swimming, running, walking, talking, whatever I want to do during the day. And the reason I'm able to do it, and I wasn't able to do this before because I always had a job where I would trade my time for money. And so I always had to go to work. And so my 9 to 5, there was nothing I could do. I would sell that to an employer, and that's how I lived. And I'm telling you, that's a scam. Working for 9 to 5 for 40 years to get 40% on retirement, to me, that's a scam, right? 40 years of work for a measly retirement that's probably not going to be there. I could do a video about retirement just to let you know how scammy that is. The real scam is that you suppress your entire potential and your entire future just for a paycheck. That's a real scam. So ever since you were a kid, me too, they've been training us, programming us through the schools, how to grow up, how to be good listeners, how to think alike, and then how to be employees, how to get a job. And so now we come out of school and all we know is we need a paycheck, we need a job. And so there we go, selling all of our time into the future. And then all of a sudden, everybody's telling you to go buy a house, you go buy a house. Now you got another 30-year obligation. Congratulations. You done what everybody told you to do. You were a good little boy and girl. Now you got a 30-year bill that you got to pay with your time. It's going to cost you your life to pay off a 30-year mortgage. You're 35, you're 30, you'll be working till you're 65 to pay that house off. To me, that makes no sense. I like freedom. The one thing I love more than money, other than my family, right, is time. Because people always say that, hey, time is money. No. That's wrong. Time is infinitely more valuable than money. How much more? Infinitely, meaning you can't even measure how important time is as opposed to money, compared to money, I should say. So let's say, and I'll prove it to you, because a lot of you're hard-headed like I used to be. So you got to learn the hard way. I'm here to teach you the hard way, right? So that check is for $1 million. So now John and Mary has $1 million check. It's in John's name and Mary's name. All you have to do is show up at the bank and cash it. They'll give you the money in cash. Clear it right there. That's all you have to do is go there. And the money's yours. But here's the catch. As soon as you cash it, you run out of time. As soon as you cash it, your time's up. You have no more time, you die. Now, will you still cash that check? Somebody's following me. I see a thumbs up. I don't get to do as many lives, but I see somebody's following me. And they know I'm telling the truth. I'm a real truth teller. Oh, it's true. It's damn true. And so with that $1 million, no matter, and I can make it $1 billion. I can make it $1 trillion. I could come to you and say, how much money do you want on this check? I can put zeros forever. We could write all on the back of it, putting zeros, and they'll cash it. It can be for $1 gazillion, but as soon as you cash it, you run out of time. Who's going to cash the check? Nobody. Because intrinsically, without even thinking, from our inner being, we know that the most valuable thing in this whole entire world is not money. It's time. So the poor people, and I'll start with this. Here's how, so one of the big things I always talk about on one of my other channels, Minority Money Mindset, I always talk about money utilization. So that channel is about finances. This channel is because I was homeless in 2017. So I built a channel where I teach people the things I learned about money. It's not conventional. It ain't going to make you feel good. It's going to challenge you. It's going to piss some of you off because I get a lot of hate comments on that channel, but I'll share some of the things with you. So one thing I talk about is money utilization. How do you use money? What do you think about money, right? And so here's a quick thing when it comes to money, right? So when the poor, bear with me, when the poor, because I was poor. Now I'm not talking about homeless like I was. I'm just talking about the working poor. You're working your butt off, but you check to check, right? So the poor, how do they think about money as opposed to the rich? The rich and the poor think about money differently. When the poor think about money, their utilization is to pay bills. So whenever I was poor, I was just trying to make enough money to do what? Just pay my bills. Well, Shon, what about the excess money? Man, there was no excess money. I was poor. I wouldn't even, I couldn't even afford the OR. I was just poor. Right? How do you know when you poor? When poor people help you, you're poor. And that's how I was. And so the rich, when they think about, so when the poor think about money, they think about bills. When the rich think about money, they think about multiply. Right? So that's the big difference. If you can just flip your mindset to handle this will change your life. Because when you think about money, when the poor and the middle class think about money, they usually think about paying bills with money, right? Or buying things. But when the rich think about money, they think about how do I multiply this money? And you don't have to be rich to think this way. You could be poor and think this way, but you won't be poor for long. You could be poor and think this way, but you won't be poor for long. Because every time you get money now, so see, I used to have a green marker in my office. My son's always in here, so only God knows what's left in here. So, but if you get, because money's green, we know that, right? So if this person gets $1,000, so let's say the government writes John, because we know women are smarter than men, guys, stay with me. So we know women are smarter than men, absolutely. And so don't be hating, guys. So if Po John gets $1,000 and Rich Randy gets $1,000, they both have $1,000. What's the difference? The difference is Po John is going to use his $1,000 to pay bills, and then he's left with zero. Can y'all see that? I hope y'all can. Then John's left with zero because all his money goes into bills and just making a living. You know, these are the people that hashtag struggle life, hashtag make ends meet, hashtag 9 to 5, hashtag just getting by, right? Hashtag vacation when I can, okay? But Rich Randy, right? So poor, we'll call poor Paul. Poor Paul takes his money, pays bills, left with zero, big fat zero. Rich Randy takes his money, and Rich Randy says, man, how can I multiply this? And so Rich Randy takes his 1,000, and then what does he do? He turns it into another 1,000, and now Rich Randy's got 2,000. It's a hypothetical, but I'm just showing you. It's all about how you think about money. So when the income tax checks come in, because that's a payday for us poor people. When I was poor, oh my gosh, income tax check. If I get 3,000, 2,000, oh, you know what? I'm paid. You know what I'm doing with it? Go and buy stuff, paying bills. Then I'm gonna go buy about a TV. And then what? I'm broke again. Because that's how I think about money. Money is to pay bills and buy things. All of a sudden I'm broke again. I'm back to zero. Whereas if I would have been thinking differently, I would have gotten that money, that $1,000, and then I would have thought differently. I would have said, normally I'll take this money and go buy things, but I don't want to do that this time because I don't want to repeat the cycle. That's a cycle. So I want to do something differently. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to think like the rich. Again, you don't have to be rich to think like this. This is all about mindset, right? So this ain't about quantity. This is about quality of your thoughts. And so I'm going to take this $1,000 and then I'm going to say, how do I multiply this? So when I was poor, I would say, how can I spend this? What can I buy? What can I use this for? What bills can I pay off? And then when you get the rich mindset, you're going to say, how can I multiply this? See how simple that was? How can I spend this? How can I grow this? How can I use this, right? How can I buy something with this? How can I multiply it? Right? How can I pay bills with this? Right? How can I plant this seed for a harvest, right? How can I utilize this? How can I grow this? And that's a different mindset. Guys, if this is making sense, hit the thumbs up. Also, if you have a question or comment, I can see it. I'm close enough to see it. Drop it in there. I promise I'll try to get to it. I don't know how long this live's going to be, but I enjoy this. If you're watching this, then you're either a person who has control of their time, which is awesome, or you're a person who has a few minutes and you just want to learn how to get control of your time and your life. Because life is about experiences. And in order to do that, you got to have time. You got to have time. I don't like being told when to go to lunch and when to come back. I don't like that. I like to take my time on lunch. 30 minutes ain't enough. The Chick-fil-A line is long enough. I'm not even going to get my food. Now I'm rushing to eat it back to work. Now I'm getting written up because I'm 5 minutes late. You can keep that. Y'all don't even pay me enough to deal with that mentally. So I'm going to reshift, change lanes, refocus, put myself in the best position possible. So again, money utilization is a big principle. How do you think about money? The poor and the middle class think about money completely differently. So these over here, they're thinking about use money to buy things, use money to pay things, use money to get things. Whereas the rich and the wealthy are thinking about use money to make more money. So I always say there's a couple things about money, and I feel like a professor now since I teach so much. The weird thing is I hated teaching. I hated school. Now I'm kind of teaching people about this. But this stuff's going to change your life. School's just trash. Once you learn ABCs and basic multiplication, you can leave school. Once you learn how to read too, then you can leave school, right? You get out of there. You can leave school in the 9th or 10th grade and be fine in life. But money utilization is the big part of what you do. So what do you do with the money? So how do you think about money? How do you use money? What are money principles to you? And so the American dream is to, let's look at it. Let's break it down because I want to prove to you that it's a scam. Now, that's relative, but to me, just telling you how I think. So I have 4 kids, right? I have my daughter, Shania, that I've had since high school. Yes, I had a kid in high school. You want to know the fast track to poverty and struggle life? Have kids young, outside of a marriage. Have kids young. That's struggle life. Because your life becomes, your focus is now about the kid. I've had to, I enrolled in college for a week and I had to quit because I had to get a job because we had no food at home. And I never went back. So struggle life, yeah, I'm telling you, don't have kids young. That's number 1. So I got 4 kids. I got Shania, I got Ian, I got Weston, who y'all probably see a lot on the camera, who's always in my office messing things up and probably writing on the board. So if I ever turn this on and you see all kinds of scribble scratch, Weston's been in my office. And then I have baby girl Renly. So I have baby girl Renly. So I have 4 kids. Now, when I wake up in the morning, I think about this. I think about 20, 30, 40 years from now, how can I put my children in the best position to be successful? You know what? You know what the Bible says about wealth? I'll let you know. It says a good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. I didn't say that. God did. So if God is saying a good man, not a bad man, a good man in God's eyes, leave an inheritance, not just for his children, but for his grandchildren's children, then we should be thinking about one thing and one thing only when it comes to finances, and that is the W word. We should be thinking about wealth. Wealth is more about time than it is about numbers. Wealth is about time. So we should be, and the reason I know it is because children's children, those are generations down the road. You and I probably be long gone. But our money and what we left here, the seed we planted, still bringing in a harvest for our children. I think about this. I think about my daughter who's 9 months. I think she's 9 months. Renly, she's trying to walk. She's trying to run. God bless her heart. She just started crawling. She doesn't want to crawl anymore. She wants to stand up and run. So go figure. This girl's in a hurry to get somewhere, probably to the bank, because I know she got to make money. And so, but I'm thinking about, hey, 30 years from now, when my little Renly gets married, what's daddy going to give her? I'm thinking that far. 30 years from now, I want to buy her a house. When she gets married, I want to hand her keys and say, Renly, this is your home. Do whatever you want to do with it. That's how I think when it comes to money. Now, that's wealth. Because by then, who knows what I'm doing in life? I probably won't be working hard. I probably won't be doing these videos. So you're blessed to be here at this time, at this moment. That's why I always write and let you know that, hey, it's not a coincidence. First of all, it's not a coincidence that you are here spending time with me as we talk about building wealth, right? I'm not going to get on here and fluff you. I'm not going to tell you can make $1 million overnight, quit your job in 5 days. I'm not fluffing you. I'm telling you that if you're willing to put in some work, you're going to get the results you want. The only difference between the successful and the non-successful, the haves and the have-nots, the ones who live the life they want to live, as opposed to the ones who live the life they have to live, the only difference between the ones who live where they want to live and the ones who live where they have to live, drive where they want to, what they want to live, drive what they have to live, the only difference between them is how they think about money. That's it. That's the only difference. You get to live the life you want to live, or you get to live the life that you have to live. But if you don't change the way you think about money and making money, you're in trouble. When you think about money, when I was poor, all right, so let's do this again. All right, so this poor Paul, right? Now, poor Paul, we're going to put get money. Make it easy. It's going to be an easy lesson, open book. By the way, if you have a question or comment, drop it. If I see it, I'll try to get to it. Otherwise, hit thumbs up. Let somebody else know this live is going on. And we're going to try to bless the socks off of you real quick. And hopefully I'll say something that'll change your life. And at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. So poor Paul, right? When poor Paul has to get money, what does poor Paul, because we all have a poor Paul in us. And believe it or not, we all have a rich Randy, but we don't know it. We suppress the rich Randy. So I want to get rich Randy up out of you so that we can think differently. And again, this is all about mindset. So poor Paul, right? So how does poor Paul get money? Poor Paul, first thing he thinks of to get money is time equals money. So where can he sell his time to make more money? You guessed it. He's going to work. He's going to get a job. Poor Paul's answer to get more money is to sell more time to get a paycheck from this thing called a job. And off he goes. Hey, I got another thumbs up. I appreciate that. I hope y'all enjoying this. Because if you're watching this video, I'm changing your life. I can get into some serious stuff that's going to have you questioning, like, wait a minute, what did my mom tell me? This ain't looking right. Sean said it don't work that way. By the way, real quick, if you want to get into the live free training, it's coming up Thursday night. Get into it. It's going to be, we'll try to get on at 6, could be anywhere between 6 and 6:30. And I'll drop the Zoom link if you want to learn how to start a middleman business using only your phone. Then you need to be on that live free training. I'll drop the information because I don't know how to do it now, but I'll drop it after the video, or you could go to my previous videos and see the links. If you want to bypass that and say, hey, I want to go right into the masterclass training, the training is only $297, giving it to you up front. It's going to be worth a lot more in the future, but for now you can get it for really, really cheap. And it's a 6-hour course, but I'm going to teach you how to start a business so you can do what I do, which is not work for a living. All right. You hire VAs, they do all the work for you. All right, let's get back to it. And you make all the money. Come on now. We talking about winning over here. We're talking about winning. All right, so let's look at poor Paul and rich Randy. All right, so poor Paul, if you come to poor Paul and you say, and this is most poor people, and I'm not talking about homeless for everybody who just joined in. I'm talking about, because I was homeless, that's Popo. I'm talking about working poor. They have jobs. You're out there, you're trying to get it. You're hustling, you're doing everything you can, which is good. It's commendable. You're responsible. You haven't given up. If you're at McDonald's, hey, I love you. I'm going to respect you. I see you. You're doing what you have to do, right? I got you. But it's probably going to be a dead end for you. So I'm just giving you an alternative. Don't quit. Go to work. Do the right thing. But let me give you a different perspective. So maybe in the future, you can look up and go, all right, I'm at McDonald's. I'm doing my job. They're not paying me enough. I know I'm not going to be making the money I want to make to change my family's lives. So while I'm here, I'm going to do my thing, right? But when I get a lunch break or when I'm at home, I'm start working on something else. Whereas yesterday, you never thought about that. You just went to work and suppressed it all. And you were like, all right, I got to go in here and get this check. Let me do what I got to do. Put a smile on my face. Go. Whereas now, after watching this video, you're going, all right, I got a new perspective. I don't have to be here the rest of my life. I appreciate this place. I'm going to do my best. I give it 1,000% every day. But I'm still going to go home and work on me so I can get myself in a better position. That's all I'm trying to get from you, right? So poor Paul, say, Paul, you need to make, so you go to Paul and you say, Paul, I need you, buddy. I need you to make $1,000, an extra $1,000 this week, right? Or this month. How you going to get it? Paul's going to say, all right, so I got free time. I sold my Monday through Friday to my primary job, but I do have free time on Saturdays and Sundays. I can sell that time. See, selling money, selling time for money. And Paul's going to say, I can sell my 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. on Saturday and Sunday. I won't have a weekend. I'll go pick up another job just over broke. Paul's going to sell his time to get money at a job. So what's Paul going to do? If he needs extra money, this is 80% of America. They're just going to go get a job. They're going to go get a second or third job like I used to have. I used to fall asleep at work because I had 3 jobs one time. It ain't no fun. They were all part-time, all low paying. Please don't do that. That was probably one of the worst times of my life. I literally could not stay awake. I was falling asleep because I wasn't sleeping and I wasn't making any money. I think, because I used to sleep in my car. So I'm trying to think, was I homeless then? No. I had a place to stay. I was just tired. But soon after that, I'd be homeless. And I've been homeless at least 3 times in my life starting in high school. So those who know me know me. My last time was 2017. I never want to do it again. Poor Paul, if you tell poor Paul he's got to make an extra $1,000 this month, poor Paul's the first thing he's going to think of is how to sell time for money. I need to go get another job, second job, whatever. And so poor Paul, his time's gone. He doesn't own it. He's got to sell it. And so Rich Randy's going to say, hey, Rich Randy, how do you make $1,000 a month, bro? What are you going to do? And Rich Randy's going to say, in order for me to make $1,000 a month, I need to find myself an investment. See the difference? Paul's going to look for a job. Rich Randy's going to look for an investment or an opportunity, right? So what's the difference between having a job and then having an investment? They both need to make $1,000. They both make it. But poor Paul sold all of his time. He couldn't even see his kids, couldn't be at the game, missed everything because he doesn't know how to make money outside of having a paycheck. Listen to me, if you build your whole entire life around a paycheck, you're in prison. If you build your entire, I'm going fast because I don't have a whole lot of time, but I want to give y'all some good information so you can digest this. This is better than whatever you having for lunch. I promise it is. But if you build your entire life around one of these things, this, ladies and gentlemen, paycheck is the new handcuffs. Did you know that? It's voluntary prison. They don't force you to get a job. They just train you. And since you don't know any other way to make money, you go find a job. And now you're tied. Now you got, it's bad that it's not bad to have a job. Don't get me wrong. But it's bad that you don't know any other way to make money except the job. And it ain't your fault. They have trained you, programmed you since you were an itty bitty kitty bitty. Remember, I do, in kindergarten, where they said, what would you like to be when you grow up? What kind of job would you like to have? And it was pilots, it was this, it was that. Now it's probably rapper, dancer, twerker, OnlyFans, God, only God knows. But they were asking us, what type of job would you like to have? And then they went on to proceed to take all the creativity out of us. Hey, Shon, we don't solve problems that way. Here's how we solve it. Everybody think the same way. Everybody take a test and memorize the answers. If you fail to memorize it, you're gonna get a failing grade. No cheating during test time, which I was really good at, but it was frowned upon. Now in business, it's called networking. I'm just saying, they suppress you, they train you, you go off to college, you go get a job, and now you're out there in involuntary paycheck prison. I'll show you why. You go get a car. What else you want to have in life? You want to have a house, right? What else you want to do? You want to take vacations. We'll just put vacate, not vacuums. You want to have a house. You want to have a car. You want to have vacations, right? What else you want to do? You want the lifestyle, right? And that's just a couple examples, but I'm showing you something. So you want to go out and buy a car? Yep, go buy your car. How are you going to buy it? Well, look at my paycheck. My paycheck says the car note is $500 a month. I can afford it. So you go buy your car. Hey, I need to buy a house. The paycheck says that I can afford a house. My mortgages will just be nice. $2,500 a month. My paycheck says I can get it. So I go get it. Right? Hey, we want to take a vacation. How much is the vacation? The vacation, let's just say a very nice vacation, $5,000. My paycheck says I can get it. I go to vacation, right? Hey, what else? Lifestyle could be, let's just say, in fact, here's a better word. Let's take lifestyle out and we'll just put bills. Food, fuel, lights, phone, water, gas, all those things, right? All of this is included in expenses. And then your expenses each month might be, let's be nice, food, gas, insurance, say $1,000. Right? And so here's the point I'm trying to make. Because you got the job, it did give you the freedom to go out and get all of these things. Now you can get a car for your family, you can put them in a house, you got the money to pay bills, and every once in a while you can take a vacation. And there's nothing wrong with that, unless this is all you ever do. The problem with that is this: how much leverage the paycheck has, how much leverage your job has. I don't like my boss. Doesn't matter. Go to work. I don't feel good today. Doesn't matter. Go to work. You have to go to work. They know you have to go to work. Why? Because your whole life is tied to the paycheck. If you lose this paycheck, they fire you, they lay you off, they furlough you, they downsize, they eliminate your department, they find a replacement for you, they find technology or AI that can do your job, a system that can do your job, and they let you go. You are, should have done this one in red, you are fired, right? You lose your job, you're fired. Now, as soon as you lose your paycheck, what happens? Remember that vacation you wanted to take? You can't afford that. It's gone. Well, mom and dad, I just want to take a vacation. When are we going to the beach? There's no beach. Right? We're going to put sand in the tub, and it is what it is. What about the car you got to pay for? Daddy, there's a guy outside who's attaching his chains to my car. I've had it happen to me. They repoed me. One time they mepoed me. What's mepo? When you take it back yourself. So, man, I can't even afford this no more. Why? Because I lost my paycheck. And I couldn't even afford it. This all happened to me. So I'm just telling y'all, based on personal experience, this is real. The potential for this to happen is very real. How real? Very real. So here we are. Now you got your house. Okay, cute. What are you going to do? Oh, man, well, I got my house. I got to pay for the house. I know, but you lost your paycheck. The bank's calling, telling you it's time to go. Now what? Got to go. What about your bills? Got to let that phone get cut off. We got to cut the cable off. We got to cut everything. We can't afford anything. Why? Because your whole entire life was tied to a paycheck. Remember, I told you that's prison. And I just proved it to you. Because you lost your paycheck, you lost everything. That's happened to me. That's how I become homeless. So you don't want to be in a position where you got to become homeless because you lost your paycheck. Here's a better alternative. Instead of only relying on a paycheck, you can rely on a business. Now I know what you're thinking, Sean. I don't know anything about running a business. Good, neither did I when I started a business. I started a business without knowing anything about business. I just knew I was broke. That's all the motivation I needed. I was broke with kids. Some people say, hey, you got 4 kids, you can't afford to take that risk. I didn't say that. I said I got 4 kids, I can't afford not to take that risk. Everything's different. You think differently, right? So if you go out and you start a business, this gives you a different option of how to make money. Businesses make money. Now, don't get intimidated because you don't have to think about these huge businesses, right? It can be a small business that can make you $100,000 a year. Most people don't make that. 90% of America don't make $100,000 a year. But if you have a business, you can easily make $100K a year. So the American dream is a scam. You go to school, you owe this huge debt. Now what? First thing happens is you go to school, you graduate school, you're out. First thing you get is debt. Now you got to pay back this debt. Well, how am I going to do that? The only way you know how. You either going to get a job or you're going to do something strange for the change. Either way, right? So you got debt, you got to go get a job. Now you're under all this pressure to buy a house. You don't even like your job, but you got to keep it. Now you got to get a car for the family. Then you got a family, got blessed with a family, you got to take care of them. Everybody's relying on you. You're under all this pressure. You can't lose your job. You hate your boss. You hate your coworkers, but you cannot quit because if you do, you're going to lose that thing called a paycheck and it's going to disrupt your entire household. And I'm telling you, that's prison. You may not want to admit it, but it is. It is. Everything's tied to a job. Anything happens to that job, everything happens to you. And it ain't going to be pretty. So this channel is about me teaching you how to make money without needing a job. How to make money without relying solely on a job. Right? How to make money doing everything opposite of what you've been trained to do. Somebody's going to come out and they're going to say, hey, take your paycheck, because this is what they've been told. Take your paycheck and go buy yourself a house. Go buy a house. That's what they're going to tell you. Then I'm going to come along and I'm going to say, don't do that. That's stupid. That's prison. Well, Sean, how am I supposed to buy a house without a paycheck? Glad you asked. Here you go. I'm going to show you how to buy the same house. All right, with a garage. You get a garage. Same house. But this time you're not going to use a paycheck. But you still get the house. We'll teach you how to buy a house using a middleman business. Right? So what's the difference? Sell your time for money. Anything happens to your paycheck, you lose everything. Create a business. If anything happens to your paycheck, who cares? You still have a business, a cash flowing business. Would you rather pay for a house with your paycheck that requires you to be at work every day? Or would you rather pay for your house with a business that doesn't even need you? Doesn't care what you do, it still makes money. I'm live on here with you today, right now, and my business still makes money. I don't have to be anywhere doing anything. I'm in my home office. I can walk into my kitchen. I can use my own restroom. I can walk into any of the bedrooms. I could go stand on a balcony. I could go for a walk in the neighborhood. Does not matter. If my kids have an event at school, I'm there. If my son wants to go to soccer practice, I'm there. If my wife wants to go see a movie right now, I'm there. Does not matter. What does a job mean to me? To live off of? Prison. What does a middleman business mean to me? Freedom. Just told you. I'm free. I don't have to have a paycheck. Right? So if you have a question, drop it real quick and I'll get to it. If you have a question or comment, let me know before I get off of here, which is going to be happening very soon. Right? Let me know. So you can start a business and change your life, or you can keep the paycheck and just try to get by. Paychecks aren't designed to give you freedom. That's why they require your time. You follow me? Come on, I hope you're with me. If you're not tracking, you're lacking. Don't be lacking, okay? Can't say amen, say ouch. So this channel is designed to teach you how to make money away from a job, and it's also designed to help you to learn how to create generational wealth. And you need to understand generational wealth is not a bad thing. It's a good thing. It's a good thing to create, right? So let's look at companies, because I'll prove to you that the middleman business model works. Let's look at companies that already do middleman business. Now, if these are small, if middleman doesn't work, then nobody's making money off of it. And these companies, they're not going to be around long. But let's look at these companies. Tell me if they ring a bell. Tell me if you're familiar with these names. Because again, if the middleman business model doesn't work, these companies are in trouble. But if it does work, then you're going to know these companies' names. How many ever heard of a company called Uber? Ring a bell? Oh, what about a company called Lyft? Anybody? Has anybody ever heard of a company called Airbnb? Anybody? What about a company called, and I can go on and on. I don't know if it's with a K or not, but we'll do it with a K. What about a company called Instacart? Instagram? Facebook? Insta oatmeal? I'm making that up. But I like to have fun. We don't always have to be serious, okay? And have fun on this channel. Lighten up, be loose. Come on, man. Take this energy in. If you got a question, I know you do, drop it. Uber, Lyft, Airbnb, Instacart. What do these companies all have in common? Glad you asked. These are all middleman companies. These are all middleman companies, every one of them. They all do the same thing. What's that? Here's their business model. You ready? So easy, so simple. I told you, my 3-year-old can do this. It's so easy. It's ABC. Well, not so much ABC, but how about CMB? Right? What is C? C is customer. What is B? B is business. Right? The business, or it could be the vendor, or it could be the contractor, does not matter. That business, that person who's in the business of doing the thing. And what is the M for? Because we special. So we need our own color. Right? So, but you guys know, you know where I'm going with this. What's the M for? You already know. The middleman. Right? Let me ask you a question. Between the customer and the business, who does all the work? The business, right? They do the work. Right? Who provides the service? The business. Right? Who gets taken care of? The customer. Well, over here, Uber provides a driver for a rider. Does Uber own the cars? No. Does Uber own the customer? No. What does Uber own? A platform. That's it. It's called Uber. What about Lyft? Hey, I need a ride. I'm on Lyft. Does Lyft own the car? No, they don't have, there's no Lyft car. There's no Lyft driver. There's a driver who drives who works on Lyft. There's no Lyft drivers. Is there a customer? Yes. Who needs a ride? Well, is Lyft going to go out there and give them a ride? No. Lyft's going to find somebody on their platform to give them a ride. Airbnb. I don't want to stay in a hotel. We want to stay in a house. That's a customer who needs a place to stay. Does Airbnb own the house? No. Does Airbnb own the customer? No. What does Airbnb do? They just provide a platform for them to meet or match. What about Instacart? You hungry? Instacart will go get the food for you and bring it to your door. Now, does Instacart own the driver who's going to run the errand for you and bring the food to you? No. Does Instacart own the customer who wants the food from you? No. Well, what does Instacart own? Nothing. What does Uber own? Nothing. Lyft? Nothing. Airbnb? Nothing. Well, they got homes on the website. They got to own homes. No, they don't. They don't own anything. They simply middleman a process. The customer is looking for a business or service provider, and they simply introduce you to each other. That's all they do. And these companies are worth billions, if not trillions of dollars combined. And all they do is matchmake. That's it. And so what I'm going to teach you to do in my middleman CEO masterclass is just to matchmake. Is it that easy? You better believe it's that easy, or I wouldn't be doing it, because I don't like complicated and I don't like hard. I don't like complicated. I don't like hard. So what I do is I simply teach you how to build your own middleman business from A to Z very quickly. I've got students that they took the training, completed the training, and the next day was already starting their business. So people are moving very quickly, right? So middleman business. All I'm going to do is teach you how to find a customer, find a business who will provide the service, and then you match the two. That's it. It's so simple. It's so easy. Even a child could do it. Old Geico commercial. Even a caveman could do it. It's not hard at all. So why am I doing this? Why am I teaching you this? Because I want you to know, just like I taught you, that relying on a paycheck only is prison. Your paycheck is taking care of your whole life. It's got your life leverage, and more importantly, it's got your family life leverage. And if you don't learn how to make money without having that paycheck, you're in trouble. Because if anything happens to the paycheck, you're going to disrupt your entire life. Don't do that. It's not pretty. So let's look at it this way, right? So instead of relying on a paycheck, going to a job we don't like, spending time doing things we want to do, we're going to learn how to make money using our heads, right? Being creative, using our phones. No more lifting and pulling and doing all the hard work. That ain't fun. Sure ain't pretty. My back hurts now just thinking about lifting furniture, right? Because I used to have if you don't know my story, in 2017, I started a moving service. In 2020, I sold everything and started middlemaning. And that's all I do now. Now I used to be on the phones, middlemaning and everything. I don't do any of it now. Now I have a VA, they do everything. All I do is check in on the finances and check in on the progress and see how the business is doing. But it doesn't require me. And it's not a big business. It's not making millions of dollars a year, but who cares? I'm free. If I make $350 in a year, which is the goal for this year, if we make $350 this year, I'm still living my best life. You don't even have to make that. You might just want to make an extra $50,000 a year. Well, guess what? You can do it from anywhere at any time using only your smartphone. So let me show you, because you guys have smartphones, you don't even know how to make money off of it. It's $1,000 phone and you can't even pay your bill. So I'm going to show you. So there's 3 things I'm going to teach you. This is the business model. Customer, business, middleman, and connect the two. Every time the connection is made, you're going to get paid in the gap. So every time, and this is so simple, man. Just wish people get this. Every time you connect a business and a customer, you get paid right here in the gap. Every time Uber connects a driver to a rider who needs a ride, Uber comes in and say, hey, You need a ride. I found a driver. He's willing to meet you. She's willing to jump in. How do I introduce the two? On my platform, the middleman platform. So as soon as you guys connect, Uber says, hey, I'm going to take a cut of the transaction. Uber's a middleman business, got paid in the gap. They did none of the work. And yet they made a commission in the gap. This is gap commission. I talk about it in the course. So for everybody, I know there's some students on here. So for everybody who's on here, you already know a bunch of this, right? But you guys keep coming back, so I know you're excited and you just want to learn more, which is fine. So if you want to get the link to the free training that I'm going to be doing Thursday night, then please put the word training in the comments, right? Or just write yes. Yes is better. So just write yes. If you want to get the link, write yes. If you want to skip that and go right into the masterclass and start learning, then the masterclass, if I'm not mistaken, it's on sale right now. Go grab it. Just put masterclass in the comments. But if you want to get the training link, just put yes. And so here we go. So what I do is I teach you how to start a middleman business. So the first thing I teach you, very first thing, is here's what you're going to do. In order to have a successful middleman business, you're going to book, take deposits, and dispatch. Does this work? You better believe it. How do I know? I just told you my goal is for the company to make $350,000 this year. Right? Why? Because my wife wants this big stupid house with this big stupid closet. And so we'll probably end up building a house, building her dream home, our dream home, but she'll probably design it. I'm okay. I just like to fish and play golf. But here we are. I'm going to teach you three things. A, B, C. Very, very easy. So I'm going to teach you A, B, and C. I'm going to teach you how to book clients, same way they do. Then I'm going to teach you how to take a deposit and then how to dispatch the work, same way they do. They get paid after the transaction is completed. You're going to get paid before the transaction is completed. You're going to be even better. If the ride is not completed, nobody gets paid on Uber, right? But you're going to get the deposits up front. So I teach you how to get paid up front, right? It's like prepaid. So you're going to get a customer. How? I'm going to teach you how to do that. So what I do is I teach you how to get a customer. So you get to choose. First thing you get to choose is your industry. First thing, you get to choose your industry. Why do you get to choose that? Because I'm in the moving industry. That's the one I started with. And we still do it. jumpinjackmovers.com. You can find us there. And now I'm also doing cleaners. So I have a friend in Jacksonville, full transparency. She has a cleaning service. And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to partner with her. We're going to create Jumpin' Jack Cleaners. And then we're going to run the middleman process for her business. Right? So you get to choose an industry. What industry? We give you a list. There's probably 50 you could choose from, but whichever you want to do, it's up to you. I can take my car and ride through downtown Dallas today, and then I can find just right away 5 company trucks or vans where I'm like, I can middleman for that company. It does not matter. The process doesn't change. As long as I can find a business that needs a customer, I can do it. So if you find a business that needs a customer, you can do it. How many times have you come home and somebody's put a flyer in your door, in your mailbox? What does that mean? That's a company, a business, who's looking for customers. They're reaching out to you. But what they don't know is you're good at getting customers for them. So you're going to take, say for instance, you go to your mailbox. Because this happens to me all the time. You go to your mailbox, you open your mailbox, and guess what you see in your mailbox? Hey, Lisa's home cleaning. Right? Now, you don't know Lisa, and you don't know anything about home cleaning. Neither do I. And I don't want to know. Now you've got Lisa's flyer, and Lisa's flyer says, Lisa's Cleaners, we do all these different services. Here's how much we charge. Here's my phone number and email and website, right? I don't recommend you do all that, but you'll see. But just hypothetically. So you got all the information, right? So now you've got Lisa. And you know one thing about Lisa. Well, two things. Lisa's a business and she needs customers. How do we know this? Because all businesses need customers, right? They need customers like we need oxygen, baby. They all need customers. They go under. So we're going to say, all right, we'll choose that industry to start off with because a lot of people like the cleaning industry. Bam, you chose your industry. You're going to do cleaning. All right, so you chose the industry. You chose, hey, for the industry, I'm going to go ahead and do the cleaning industry because I got a company, Lisa's Cleaners. So I'm going to rock with her. So I'm going to hit Lisa up, contact her, email her, call her, whatever. Lisa, how much do you charge, right? And then Lisa's going to give me her prices. And now I know what her prices are. So I chose my industry, her prices. Let's say, for instance, Lisa's going to say, hey, I'm $150 an hour, right? So now I got her prices. I chose the industry. I got my prices, right? Now I'm ready to rock and roll. That's all I need from you, Lisa, right? And so now the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to advertise and get our customer. Now, you don't have to pay. In fact, you don't even have to really run an ad because you can literally jump on your phone or on Facebook or anything and friends and family. I'm going to go to my warm market first and say, hey, who needs to have their house clean? So I'm going to get a customer. I'm going to go right away, find Lisa a customer. I might just text friends and family and be like, hey, I've been to your house. You got dog hair everywhere. You need your house clean. Yeah, you're right. Hey, I got somebody. They're going to trust you because you're friends and family. That's warm market. So the first market I'm going to hit is my warm market and try to find a customer, right? And so I know Lisa will do it for $150 an hour. That's what she said her rates are. And so what I'm going to do, and I'm going to come right back here and look at how my business is going to work, right? Right. So here we are. Here's what I need to do. ABC. Very easy. We don't even have a D. ABC. Right. So I pick my industry, which is cleaning. I got the prices. She charged $150 an hour. All right. And so next thing I'm going to do is find her a customer. Off I go. Right. And so I'm going to hit up my warm market right away. Now you could go into advertise. That's up to you. But you could just text some friends and be like, hey, I got a friend who does cleaning. She's ready to rock and roll. Your house is filthy. You need this. Hey, bet. Hook it up. Right. And so I'm going to go ahead and get a client. So I'm going to book a client. Done. Right. So I got a client. I know what she's willing to do the work for. I know what she charges. So I'm going to charge enough where I can make a nice deposit. So she charges $150. I'm going to just tell you how I work. I'm just going to say, hey, $150 an hour? Gotcha. All right. So for 2 hours, that's $300, right? Yeah. She's like, yeah. Okay, cool. Because most jobs last at least 2 hours. So, all right, cool, Lisa, 300. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say, Lisa, I can book a client for you. I can bring you clients. But instead of $150, I need you to be able to do it for $100 an hour. Would you do that? Yeah, sure. If I bring you a client and you don't have to talk to him, negotiate, this is locked in, would you be willing to do it for $100 an hour? Lisa's going to say, hell yeah. Which means what? That's $50 free per hour that I just saved. So now, if I book this job, I know I can take a $100 deposit. Make sense? So they get paid in the gap. We're going to get paid in the gap too. So book. Now I'm going to take a deposit. So my friends are going to say, hey, how much she charging? Hey, $300. The customer's going to say, how much is she charging? $300. They're not going to say she. They're just going to say, how much do you charge? Because you're going to be the moving company. Well, I charge $300. Bam, I'll take it. And now, Lisa's willing to do it for $200. You charge the customer $300, which leaves you with a deposit of $100. Now, this is a 5-minute phone call. It's not a lot of details that go into home cleaning, right? 5-minute phone call. You make a deposit. You take a deposit. And now in 5 minutes, you just put $100 into your bank account because that's the deposit. It doesn't even affect what Lisa's cleaners is going to make. It has nothing to do with that. You're not touching any of that money. Hey, Lisa, you get your own money. I'm just taking deposits for every job I book. It's just my commission. So I book a job, I get paid. And then the last thing, my favorite part, is I get to dispatch it. So it's one thing to get paid and have to do the work. I got paid, I got a deposit. I really don't feel like going out there. But it's another thing to get paid, get a deposit. Yeah, I got paid, I got a deposit. But I don't have to go anywhere. I don't have to do any of this work, right? So let's keep playing golf. Let's go see a movie, baby. I don't have to go to work. We just deposit and go, right? And you could get a VA right away if you don't want to do any of this, talk to customers or anything. They'll do all that, dispatch and everything. It does cost money to hire them. But my advice is always to learn your business first so that you can train them properly. Because if you don't know what to do, they won't know what to do. So learn your business. Spend 90 days before you get a VA. Just saying. It helps. So then you turn around, you dispatch the business. So now you got a customer, Mary, and Mary's paid you $100 deposit, so you're paid. And then Mary pays the balance to Lisa. And now you send the customer information to Lisa. Lisa's cleaners go off and do all the work. Say it again, all the work. I've gotten paid. I'm hands off. I don't touch anything. That's how middleman business work. I simply found a customer, matched into a business, got paid in a gap. All I did was book the client, get their information, take a quick deposit, goes into my wallet, and then I dispatch the work. Somebody else does all the work. I get paid. Very easy, very simple. If you have a question, let me know now because I'm about to wrap up. But if you want to get into the training, again, I'm going to do a live training Thursday night. It's going to be about 6 o'clock, Central Standard Time. So wherever you are, just make sure it's 6 o'clock. It's going to be on a Zoom. I'll drop the link if you want it. If you want to get the course, then just go right into the masterclass, write masterclass in the comments. If you want to get the link to the Zoom, write yes or Zoom link, whatever. But this is so important that you cannot let January go by without learning how to make money away from your job. This is all you need to do, and I'll teach you how to do it. This is what you're going to do. Now, if you want to get the training, you need to know how to do this. You need to know, how do I book them? What do I have to do? What do I say to them? How do I advertise? How do I post this stuff? How do I get legal? How do I get my account set up? How do I do these things? I got to take a deposit. How do I do that? How do I get my merchant account set up? How do I take these deposits? How do I dispatch? Okay, how do I get a list of vendors, list of ISP service providers? How do I get them? How do we get agreements? How do I get signatures? How do I get them to go out and perform good work? How do I? That's all in the masterclass. That's where all the how-to is. This is the what to do to change your life. The how to do is going to be in the masterclass. Very affordable. I might just go ahead and drop the link. In fact, I'll just drop it so you don't have to email me or message me about it. The link's going to be in the first comment. Grab it and go. If you want to get into the Zoom, just write. I'll probably just drop that too, but just in case, just write Zoom or reply yes. But anyway, guys, I hope I blessed you in some way. I just want to educate you and give you a different perspective on how money works. Don't spend all of your time selling it for your whole life to make money, then counting on a miserable retirement while you're all beat up and worn out from 40 years of work. That's the old way of doing things. There's a new and better way of doing things, and that is using your phone to make money for you, and then using a VA to make money for you. But it all works through your phone, right? You don't want to do all the hard work in here because it's not really hard work, but if you don't want to talk to customers, you don't want to take the payments, you don't want to dispatch, you just want to get paid, then a VA does all this for you. They do it all for me. I don't talk to customers at all. And in the beginning, I did. But when I learned about VAs, I was gone. I was hands off. What? I still make money, pay them a little bit, and get out of the way? Oh, give me time. Remember, I told you, it's all about time. All about time. If I'm going to spend an hour a day working on this business, talking to customers and making money, good, fine. But if I can get that hour back and hire a VA to do that, because it doesn't take long to do this. So even if you do it this way and you make $100 a deposit, just doing it this way, if you make $100 per deposit, which is still not bad for a 5-minute phone call. Come on. Right? And let's say you go out in a week, just a week, and you make $100 per deposit because you choose that industry, right? So your commission deposit is $100 every time you close, right? And so let's say in a day, just in a day, we'll do a month, but in a day, you only do 3. That's it. Just 3 calls from 8 in the morning to 6 in the afternoon. That's the hours I recommend. You only do 3 calls. You've been on the phone every day. One day, you've been on the phone with 3 customers, and let's say the calls go long. You spend about 20 minutes combined. So each call is about 7 minutes. I recommend shorter, but anywhere from 5 to 7 minutes, you're fine. But you only take 3 calls that day, and you only spend 20 minutes talking to customers. Now, again, you get a VA, you don't have to do any of this, but I'm just letting you know how easy this is. And now you take a $100 deposit, so times 3 is obviously $300 made for the day. Not bad. That's not going to make you rich, but it ain't bad because you never left the house. You never had to go do any of the work. You were able to do what you wanted to do when you wanted to do, right? And through text, email, phone call, you was able to book clients because I booked them through email and text without even hearing their voice. It's so easy, right? It's so easy. A 3rd grader can do this, right? My grandma, God rest her soul, but she can do this. And so $300 you made for the day, still not bad. Now, let's say you're open. Let's say you're like me. You don't like to focus on work on weekends. So you only do Monday through Friday, right? So you're Monday through Friday, and you're 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. That's your time. You do 300 a day times 5 days, and 300 is not a lot. There were days, just being honest, there were days where I was making 1,500 a day. And I was just starting out, but I didn't know what I was doing. My first year, I made 77K. Not bad, but I didn't know what I was doing. But I knew what I was doing after that. I was like, wait a minute, I could double this now that I know what I'm doing. I had no clue what I was doing. And I still made 1,500. There were times where I was taking $500, $600, $700 deposits on big jobs. Like if I book a $5,000 move, I need 10% of that deposit. That's 500 in my account. That's a 15-minute phone call. When I learned that, the game changed. So Monday through Friday, 300 a day, which is not going to make you rich. I'm not going to be on here telling you this is going to make you a millionaire. You're going to have to scale to do that, but you can do it. I'm not going to tell you you're going to be rich overnight and you can fire your boss tomorrow. I'm not on here to do that. I have integrity. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to tell you the truth. Hey, if you trust this system and you put in work, just like Uber, Lyft, Instacart, all those other companies, Airbnb, you can have success. If it only makes you $100,000 a year, so what? That's $100,000 you didn't have to leave the house to get. That's a win. I made 77 my first year. That's a win. That's a win. I never left the house. Well, I did because I would go fishing and learn to play golf. But other than that, I could leave the house right now. What time is it here in Dallas? 12:30. I can leave the house right now, which I'm about to do. That's why I'm getting off. So my boy texts me. He's going to the gym to shoot some hoop. I'm going to shoot some hoop today. I haven't shot in about a month. All right, I'm going to get a workout in. I'm not going to work. I don't have lunch. I'm going to do what I want to do because I'm still making money, right? So yesterday, just looking at the numbers, when we closed at the end of the day yesterday, we made 640. 640, not bad. During January, that's awesome. In one day, not going to make me rich. A percentage of that goes to the VA because I don't touch anything. But even if I clear $500 for yesterday, I didn't do anything. And my business is 7 days a week. I don't take days off. Why? Because I don't do the work. With a VA, you want to go every day, right? But for you, for instance, starting out, because I don't recommend you get a VA until you know your business well enough to train them. Train them what to say, what to talk about, what to sell, how to book a customer. You're going to have to do that. So learn your business because they don't know, right? They'll just do the work. So $1,500, not bad for a week, right? 3 times 5. Now multiply that by 4. Now you made 6K for that month. Still not bad. Now multiply that 6K by 12. You're about where I was my first year. You made 72K. Not $1 million. That's fine. We don't have to make millions overnight. But we're learning, and we made 72K in the first year. Most of you don't make that now. And I just showed you how to do it without needing your job. Don't quit your job. Learn to do this as you continue to have your job. And then I promise you, once you get this down, if you do it the way I teach you, probably within the first 90 days or 6 months, you'll be able to fire your boss. Oops, did I say that? Fire your boss, right? But fire them nicely. Don't mistreat them like they treat you. We're going to have class, right? We're going to have integrity. We're going to walk in and say, hey, y'all cute, but I'm going to have to let you go. Y'all help me out. I appreciate it, but I'm going to have to let you go. Hey, we got that raise for you. I'm going to have to say no because you can't afford my time. You can't value me like I value me. And that's all I'm saying. So make sure you got this. I got to go, guys. We went over an hour. That was really crazy, but make sure to tune in as often as you can. Hit subscribe, hit thumbs up. Question or comments, drop them. Again, if you want to get the Zoom link, write Zoom in the comments. If you want to go right into the masterclass, just write masterclass in the comments, and I'll put the links. So just click, go for it. If you're in my masterclass, unlike a lot of people, it's very affordable, number one, and number two, I want to engage with you and have feedback and go back and forth with you. I don't just want to put you in the masterclass and leave you alone. That's not my intentions. Well, I never talked to the guy. Nobody ever answered. That's not me. I want to help you. So I got students hit me up all the time, like, hey, what do you think about this ad I'm running? I'm like, hey, shoot it to me. Let me see. Okay, change this, and rerun it. So I'm that guy. I want to see you have success. More importantly, I want to hear about your success. And so from me to you, this is my gift to you, be in the live training, and we're going to break this thing down even more. So y'all have a blessed, wonderful day. And I'm telling you, this works if you're willing to do the work. Peace.